U.S. war planners continue to court China's neighbors. This is at Counterpunch. The War Department's backbench, the U.S. State Department. I love that expression. I don't know if that's if they're the first ones to come up with that. But the war agencies, the war machine's backbench, the State Department, is working overtime to curry favor with potential friends, well, at least not enemies, in the region closer to China's border, because the U.S. was bored and we're like, let's just push towards nuclear war. It's been a minute since we've put. No, it hasn't actually been a minute. It's been actually we just never really stopped. But still, we could push towards more nuclear war. Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that name. She may have been involved in creating the proxy war in Ukraine. The neoconservative who in 2014 passed out pastries in Ukraine's Maidan Square. And you may recall the reason that they're mentioning Maidan Square is it's actually called the Maidan Revolution, but really it was not a revolution. It was a U.S.-backed coup. Maidan Square was the center of the protest that ultimately caused that coup. And so she was apparently literally there handing out pastries. That sounds like a euphemism, not a euphemism, but like an idiom or something. She was, I guess a euphemism as well, but she was there handing out pastries. But no, she was literally there handing out pastries. She then plotted Ukraine's transition government. There's leaked phone calls that she did not want to get out that have gotten out of her planning Ukraine's follow-up government after the coup. She recently visited the South Asian nations of Sri Lanka and Nepal in what critics suspect is preparation for yet another U.S. proxy war, this one with China over the future of Taiwan. In tandem with Nuland's Asian jaunt this year, CIA Director William Burns secretly flew into Sri Lanka, angering the leader of the Communist Party of Sri Lanka, who said Burns was there to facilitate the donation of biometric immigration control system. Oh, great. The granting of access to submarine telecommunications cables and data, and the review of a status of forces agreement. Or maybe, went the rumors, Burns came to propose Sri Lanka welcome a formal U.S. military base, which might risk contamination of land and water in a beautiful island nation with forests, wetlands, and beaches. Sri Lanka enjoys the title of the nation with the greatest biodiversity per unit area in all of Asia. Who has the heart to turn this paradise home to over 200 species of butterfly, 200 hard coral, and 3,000 flowering plants into a proxy war's bombed-out battlefield? In the heels of his visit to Sri Lanka, Burns also planned to travel to Nepal, but they ultimately, the Nepalese government barred him from touching down, saying a visit on such short notice would set a dangerous precedent. So there you have it. Let's turn Sri Lanka, the largest biodiversity in all of Asia, into a burned-out battlefield. Fun fact, the largest biodiversity in our hemisphere is Steve Bannon. Yeah, actually has all kinds of shit growing on him. Plants, bacteria. It's a cornucopia of shit living there. Anyway, the U.S. continues to try and encircle China with military bases. Don't forget, the U.S. military has 800 to 900 military bases around the world. It was higher during the war in Afghanistan. It's decreased some now, but now we're trying to increase that around China. Meanwhile, China has one military base outside of China. So slight difference there. Slight. So they do all of that. They put all of that effort in. They send all of that money to do those things. They are, it's not just weaponry, but they send money to these countries in other forms of aid in order to curry favor to these nations. All of that money that is dumped around the world, can't bring it home. Can't use it for medical care for our people. Can't use it to clean up Palestine, Ohio. Can't use it to clean up all of the lead in the water pipes. Can't use it to help the people out who are homeless and houseless in this country. Can't use it to, help the people who are so poor that they're getting paid to have their blood extracted across this nation, which is the #1 exporter of paid blood donations, meaning our state is now our country. I mean, when I say our state is now a vampiric nation, and in fact, the top vampiric nation around the world. Can't do any of that, but man, can we fucking send some goddamn javelin missiles. That's right. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.